And talk about talent. Devin Booker helped lead the Suns to their first trip to the finals since 1993, while Trae Young took the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals in his third year in the league. The two highlight of playoffs where young stars stole the spotlight all postseason long. So, Key, I know it's a tough choice, but we got to have an answer. Who had the most impressive debut in the playoffs? Was it Booker or Young?
I think it was Trae Young. I just look at what they were able to do, and him in particular, against the Philadelphia 76ers, now what he was able to do now against the Milwaukee Bucks. When I look at it, I'm like, he's the lone ranger to a degree out there by himself. And I know Bogdanovich has been there, and I know Clint Capella's been there, but when you talk about him taking control and just dropping buckets left and right, to me, that's the way it is. Well, when you talk about Booker, it's like we're not with CP3. We talk about CP3 in the 41 points. That's who we talked about. And I think CP3 for Devin Booker has helped him tremendously along with DeAndre Ayton. So it's kind of like I got to lean towards Trae Young because he's electric. Mm-hmm. It seems like he's like a mini Steph Curry to me. It's must-see TV. Like, I would love to watch Devin Booker and pay to go see him play, no question about it, if CP3 wasn't on the team. But it's like Trae Young and the Hawks is in town. What you going to do? Oh, man, can you get me tickets? That's how I feel about that situation. I don't necessarily feel that way about Devin Booker. Well, I would be saying looking for tickets to go watch him play. And maybe I'm wrong, but who knows, Freddie?
It's a fair point when it comes to Trae Young, because think about in a post-LeBron, AD, Kevin Durant playoffs, Trae Young has been must-see TV. There's no doubt about that. But here's why I'm going to go with Devin Booker in terms of better playoff debut, because, Keyshawn, you made the point about being in Chris Paul's shadow, and he's been able to produce in Chris Paul's shadow. And when Chris Paul's not there the first two games of the Western Conference Finals, he had a 40-point triple-double in Game 1, and he made plays at both ends of the floor. I mean, he's not a great defender, but he's just a tough guy. And plus, he had to deal with Patrick Beverley breaking his nose inadvertently. We know those things can happen in a basketball game, but he never backed down. He never backed away. And I thought the two biggest things that jumped out to me about Devin Booker in his playoff debut, other than his numbers. Number one, that leadership. There was one point last night where the Clippers were getting close, and Devin Booker was diagramming a play. Not for him, but to get the basketball to somebody else. And Chris Paul and everybody was at rapt attention to see him doing that. That is something that you can only learn, but you're able to put it in place and have that respect already as a young dude in the NBA. That's no one that jumped out to me. Number two, his poise. We talk about Trae Young's poise, and it's manifested itself being on that level. But Devin Booker had time and time again, Beverley just trying to get under his skin. He just ignored him. He would go to the referees, talk with them. He would go to his teammates. Patrick Beverley tried everything to get under his skin, and Devin Booker's like, look, all right, I get it, but I got a job to do. When you're able to do that and eliminate a pest, and then you have that help, what Chris Paul's able to do, but you still show that leadership by not just ceding the spotlight, but still being a part of that, it's close to me, and I don't think there's a wrong answer here. But Devin Booker, in his playoff debut, especially when this Suns team had not been in the NBA Finals since 1993, they have not even been in the playoffs in 10 years, and then you step up on that kind of stage and play that way, I'll take him a little bit slightly over Trae Young.
Well, you think about Trae Young, though, the comparisons to Luka, having to deal with all of those sort of things. Plus, if he gets out of Milwaukee and takes his team to the finals, that road was tougher, in my opinion, than the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns ran up against a beat-up Laker team, a Laker team that was all beat up and whatnot. Then they hit a team like the Clippers that fell apart along the way because they missed Kawhi Leonard. So it's like, I get both of them are terrific. There's no can't miss in the situation. They're both averaging around the same amount of points, about 28 points or so. They both are way over 40% shooting from the field. So it's kind of like they're very close, but I just give a slight edge to Trae Young.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer here. But if you're the NBA, the fact that we're talking about these two guys carrying the torch for your league, that's only great for the NBA, because the NBA is about star power. And now you got two guys, the Butterscotch brothers, Trae Young on one side and Devin Booker on the other side, that are going to carry that further in a post-LeBron world. You got these kind of guys, not in big cities, Devin Booker in Phoenix, and Atlanta's a big city, but has not been a basketball city for a long time. They're not doing this in New York, L.A., or Chicago. Trae has created a resurgence. Think about this. Trae Young has done something that we have not seen in Atlanta, Georgia since the election. He brought Republicans and liberals and conservatives together to root for the Atlanta Hawks. That's the kind of star power he's been able to do. And now you got Devin Booker, who's been able to take what Chris Paul's taught him, and now he becomes a leader in the West. So now you got these two guys on different parts of the country taking the NBA into more in the 21st century. Only good's going to come out of that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.